Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur, has taken on a new role in the Trump administration. He's leading the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. This new agency aims to find and eliminate wasteful spending in the government. One of DOGE's first targets? The Department of Education. Musk's DOGE wasted no time in making its mark. The department announced massive cuts to education funding, totaling $881 million. These cuts affect various programs and contracts within the Department of Education. The move sent shockwaves through the education system, leaving many wondering about the future of American schools. These cuts are part of a broader effort by the Trump administration to shrink the federal government. Trump has long been critical of the Department of Education, vowing to abolish it entirely. With Musk at the helm of DOGE, these cuts could be the first step towards dismantling the department altogether. Musk defended the cuts, arguing they were necessary to eliminate waste and inefficiency. He pointed to what he called anti-Americanism within the Department of Education, claiming it was promoting a radical agenda. He believes these cuts will refocus the department on its core mission of educating American children. However, education experts have condemned the cuts, warning of dire consequences for students and teachers. They argue that the cuts will disproportionately impact vulnerable students who rely on federal programs for support. Critics also fear that the cuts will lead to larger class sizes, fewer resources, and a decline in the quality of education. Some experts argue that Musk's claims of anti-Americanism lack evidence and are politically motivated. They point out that the Department of Education plays a vital role in ensuring equity and access to quality education for all students, regardless of their background. The cuts, they say, could exacerbate existing inequalities in the education system. These education cuts are part of a long-standing effort by former President Trump to dismantle the Department of Education. Trump has been a vocal critic of the department, calling it a bloated bureaucracy that interferes with local control of schools. He has repeatedly pledged to abolish it, arguing that education is a state and local issue, not a federal one. Trump's stance on education aligns with the views of many of his supporters, who believe the federal government has too much control over education. They argue that local communities are better equipped to make decisions about their schools. Many also criticize the department for promoting what they see as a woke agenda, including diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, which they believe are inappropriate for schools. Despite Trump's efforts, abolishing the Department of Education remains a challenging goal. It would require congressional approval, which is unlikely given the current political climate. Nevertheless, Trump's appointment of Musk to lead DOGE and the recent education cuts signal his continued commitment to shrinking the federal government's role in education. The recent education cuts and the ongoing debate over the Department of Education highlight the deep divisions in American society over the role of government in education. On one side are those who believe in a strong federal role in ensuring equity and quality in education. They argue that the federal government is necessary to provide funding and support for disadvantaged students and to set national standards. On the other side are those who believe that education should be primarily a local issue with minimal federal involvement. They argue that local communities are better positioned to make decisions about their schools and that federal involvement often leads to bureaucracy and inefficiency. These divisions are likely to persist, with the future of American education hanging in the balance. The consequences of these differing visions are far-reaching. A weaker federal role in education could lead to greater disparities between wealthy and poor school districts, potentially exacerbating existing inequalities. Conversely, a continued focus on federal oversight could stifle local innovation and create a one-size-fits-all approach to education that fails to meet the unique needs of diverse communities. As America grapples with these complex issues, the future of education remains uncertain.